Hello everyone. Today we will create that a beautiful looking portfolio using a nextjs Tailwind CSS. Now here as you see we have a navbar. Whenever we click any of the tab it will take to that particular section by scroll through, and we are not gonna use that React scroll because we're gonna customize our scroll and we're gonna create it from the scratch. And now after the header portion we have a banner portion also. Now as you see in that particular page we have a three segment. First is that the left, and now in the middle it will be our content, and of course in our right it will be a portion for our email, and the middle portion it gonna scroll through over and over. So as you see, if we scroll, now we are in the about section. If we click in the experience it will take to us in our experience section, and also you can toggle through the experiences you have. It will just showcase whatever experience you have. And then we have a section called project. You can highlight three of your amazing project over here. If you click, it will take you to that link and you can see actually the project over here. And now also if you have so many other project, you can combine through it here and you can just keep it over here. And if you click, the same way it will work. And now also there is a button, a customized button, which will give us a show more option. If we click, as you see, it's coming with an opacity portion, which we are having with that a framer motion. And also you can make it show less. Now, if we click on that contact section over here, you can see if you want to say hello, whenever you click on that, it will take you to our email and generate the email to send the email for our client. So now, as you see, whenever also, by the way, these things have also a legit link. If you just click through, it will render redirect through the actual link. Now, whenever we're gonna refresh on it, as you see how it's coming, it's happening because of the framer motion. And also there is a tab which gonna indicate our resume. If you click on it, it's gonna take us to our resume portion. So all of that today we're gonna build, and by the way, it's gonna be a fully responsive. Or if I just okay, I will just open the response editor to show you how fully responsive it is. As you see, it's fully responsive. If you click through, and it will work just fine. And it's gonna be like the mobile and the tab version, landscape, portrait, and all over the section, it's gonna work just fine. As you see in the iPad tab, it will also working just fine. So we're gonna create that from the scratch. And to create that one, first of all, we need to create our project. So I open my directory over here, and now let's create it. npx create next app latest, which in the latest version we're gonna use nextjs, and we want the TypeScript, and the name is portfolio YT. So let's run it through. Yes, we want slint, source directory no need, app directory no need. So now it's gonna configure our application. Our application is set. So now let's go to CD on it, go to inside of it, portfolio YT, and let's open in our code editor. Okay, that one no need. So now by default, we are going to having a normal setup of a Next.js application. So if we just gonna spin it, you need to make it npm run dev to open it in the development option. So let's go and see. Okay. So while it's spinning, let's see what we have. We have one pages directory over here. Inside the pages, we have app.tsx, which is rendering all the app portion, and we have the document or all external portion we're gonna implement over here. And then we have that index.tsx. So it's by default that page is over there. So now what I'm gonna do in that main portion, I'm just gonna remove that main. Let's create another main, new portfolio. And also, I'm going to remove all of this item. And if we go over here, you see we have a new portfolio. And by the way, that CSS is coming from here. So the home modules, we are not going to use global CSS. We'll just clean up everything. So now it's time to get our Tailwind CSS on the mode. And now we're going to use that framework guide for the Tailwind CSS. And it will be for the Next.js. So we are already created the application. We are inside that application. So now we need to follow that procedure to install the Tailwind CSS dependencies. And after installing dependencies, we need to install that one also, which will create one Tailwind CSS.config.js. Let's create, and after creating that one, in that Tailwind config.js, what I want to put that one because we are not going to use that source directory, so you'll use that simple one. So this is our Tailwind config. In that contents, we're gonna use that one. So now we can access with our app directory. App directory I'm not gonna use in that build because we want to make it in production level, and these pages and components we can access easily. So now we need to go to our Tailwind base, and it will be in that global.css. Let's paste it over here. So now if you come over here and click, it will not work because what we need to do, we need to kill our server, development server, and now we're gonna run it again. Oops. When it gonna spin this time, either you can open a new terminal, a new tab, or you just refresh that one, it will be work just fine. So while it's spinning, what I'm gonna do also, I'm gonna use that Google fonts for our build, because if you just come over here and inspect that one, it will not be a default font. We are using two fonts, which will be one for Inter and one also Montserrat. So these two fonts we're gonna use. As you see, our Tailwind CSS is on the line. So let's go to our Google fonts, and as you see, I selected two fonts, one Inter, one Montserrat. And by the way, you can just click on the font, and by clicking whatever the portion you want, and it will be over there. So now we want to get it through our link. Either you can get it by import. If you want to use the import portion, you need to just copy that one, and then you need to paste it in your over here in the global.css. But I want to use it getting in that link portion, and for the link we need to go in document.css, and here let's expand that. Oops, will be it, and inside that head we're gonna connect that one. And of course we are not gonna use that cross origin, and also we need to close our link tab. So now we can access the font, but after accessing the Google font, we need to declare that font over here. So first of all, let's go and declare that. It will be a font family, and we want to declare two fonts, by which one will be our body font, which will be Montserrat, and one will be our title font, which will be Enter. And by the way, you can get the fonts name down below over here. It will be the Enter and Montserrat. You can just get it from there. So now we are having that font family. Let's see if we can access that font or not. So in here, take a lorem of 10, and let's go and put a class name font body font. After saving, if we just check, oops, it will be here. You see, we are having that accessing that Montserrat font. So after having that font, we need to also make through some of the other portion. We're gonna use one box shadows, which we're gonna use in the banner portion. So that box shadow, I'm gonna just implement over here. That will be our box shadow for our today's build. And after the box shadow, also we need to have some colors. Okay, so that's the colors, which will be the body color, text green, text light. So just put the value, or you can put your desired color. That's the color we're gonna use, customize to page on that. So that will be our colors. And after that colors, we're gonna also use use for screen sizes to make it fully responsive. So in that extent, in the top level, I'm gonna do that. So it will be extra small, smaller, small landscape, MD landscape, LG landscape, and Excel devices, which will be 1280. So now what I want in the theme in a topper portion, I'm gonna go and declare some of the max width I prefer for my today's build. Either you can feel free to follow through the Tailwind default one, but I want to be creative a bit little more. So I have a container 1440 pixel, content container, and others. So this is my preliminary setup for our today's build. So first of all, let's go and create our first ever navbar. So before creating the navbar, we need to create, you just go in the top level and we need to create a components. Now inside that component, we're gonna create that navbar.tsx because we are using the type script RAFCE. So our navbar is done. So let's go to our index.js. We're gonna implement that one here. And as you see, we're having that navbar. And first of all, there will be a little bit of portion because in that main one, I'm gonna go and grab some of the class name for it in that main. So what I'm gonna do actually, it will be like width full, height will be screen, and just a normal setup of the Tailwind Tailwind styled section. You can feel free to go through it. As you see, we are having that color. So now over here, we need to create the navbar. So in the navbar, we're gonna have a two section over there. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go a little bit like in a good space way because I want to make it in a very quickable way. So now, before going through further, as you see, we have an image. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab all my images from my previous file. I'm just copy that from there. And whenever you are using the static images, you need to paste that image in that public folder. And now in that assets folder, I have all the images. As you see, that's my project images, my logo, and others. And also what I am doing actually from that assets, I am taking an index.tsx. And now here I'm importing that images from that folder and exporting from that file. Either you can do in that way or you can import it in the main file as the way you prefer. I feel that one is very safe in a way. And also, let's get my logo. So now we are good to go. So let's go to our navbar again. So first of all, in the top level of the div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab some of the class name to make it initially looks better. So it will be like the width will be full and the shadow will be the navbar shadow. I'm giving a height and LG because we are going to make it responsive in the LG devices. It will be height 12 and sticky top because we want to make it sticky. As you see, if we come over here, it will always stay. So that stickiness we created. So as you see, it looks much better. So after that, we're going to create another div. Inside the div, we're going to have two more div. We created that div because we're gonna go and give a maxed width to make it to grab all the widths from there. As you see, the max width will be container, height full, that same 20, and MX will be auto. It will be in the middle, padding Y in 1, and font will be the title font, and making it flex, item center, justify between. So it's gonna scroll through everything to squash in the between. So there is nothing right now. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an image. It's gonna be an image tag, and that will be our next image. And let's create a source, and that source will take the logo. As you see, it's giving me the indication where the logo will be. And also we need to add an alt key, which will be our logo. And as we save, you see the logo is appeared. Now what I'm gonna do, class name, and the width will be, I'm gonna give a width of 14 to look a little bit nicer. And now after that image portion, we need to create another div. Inside another div, we're gonna create an li for the list item. As you see, we're gonna have that, and of course we made it already flex. That's why it's just going to have there. So now that li actually, we're gonna wrap it through one link, which will be from the next link, because as you know, we're gonna, whenever we click, it's gonna take us to that particular option, and it is not using the React scroll. So we need to create that one using that href from that link. So we're gonna make everything inside that link, and in that link we need to declare a href section, and that href, it will be home. So we're gonna create every section with a name, and in that name it's gonna clickable through. So first of all, what I'm gonna do also in that particular link, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for that link, because this li, it will not take any class name. We're gonna create the animation over there, so the all the css we're gonna put inside that link. So it will be flex item center gap 1. Because why I'm making it flex, because as you see in the home you may have 1, but in other section you have 2, that which will be in span text. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just grab another one. So okay, what I'm gonna do, if I just copy this one, and because we're gonna have that span tag over here 0 1, and that one will be our about, and you're gonna see that will make a sense of making it as flex, as you see. So this things is working just fine, as you see now. By the way, if you just remove the flex from the first one, it will work just fine. I will just keep in that way. And that nav link, that is a customized css name, which style name, which we're gonna take it later on to toggle through all the, because whenever you click, you see it's getting active and the text is changed. We're gonna create that one using that link. So let's go, and also for the h1 tag, as you see, it's not getting in the way it's supposed to be. So let's go and give some class name for that. It will be flex, and the text, it will be like 13 pixel. We're gonna give a customized text, and the gap will be 7. And after saving, you see that looks very slick. And I think, yeah, it's almost the same way it's supposed to be. But I think our font text size is not getting the size the way it's supposed to be, and it's because maybe we have something wrong. As you see, yeah, we need to make a clone over. Sorry, it's a dash over here. Now it's getting better, and so on. We're gonna create other one, but before that, as you see, whenever we're refreshing, there is an effect going on which gonna create with the framer motion. So what I'm gonna do, let's go to framer motion. And by here in that actual the framer motion documentation, you can actually learn everything. So let's get that one running. So that is the introduction, and let's go to installation. I'm gonna copy that, install that one. So first of all, first motion after, okay, no need to implement that React. So let's import. We're gonna import that motion portion. Oops, it will be import, and that motion, as you see, is giving me lots of option over here. Now in the motion, what this easy way to implement that one in a div or any other component, you just need to put the motion over there. And by the way, in that image, initial type, which will be when it will be render, it will be opacity, it will be a 0. But what we want actually, whenever we want to put an animation, and that animation give us an opacity of 1, and of course we need a transition over there, and that it will be at that transition, it's gonna be giving a duration, and that duration will be 0. Let's give a half second. Let's see how it works actually. You can feel free to go through it to the documentation, and you'll understand it better how the framer motion work. And if we just click, as you see, it's giving a little bit a delay on that to opacity to come in charge. So now what I'm gonna do also, for that our home portion, the same way we will make it as a link. It will be li, which we're gonna create motion, and also we're gonna declare some of the motion classification over here. And that motion, it will be create initially, it will be y10. As you see, if you come over here, and it's dropping from the top, right? So it will be in it will be in the top level in axis y minus 10, opacity 0. Whenever it's animating, it's gonna be y0 and opacity 1. Then transition, the duration, it will be 1 millisecond, because see, it's coming 1, then first, second, third. So in that way, it's gonna create. If we click, as you see, it's coming a little bit in that way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab all other things from my previous one. So let's go, and that one will be for our on click function we're gonna create later on. So this is our about, And also we're gonna have our experience, have our project, and our contact. So let's go and grab that 3. So handle scroll, we are not gonna use that one right now. Okay. It's the same CSS name, same CSS class name, and same setup. So you can just go through that class name and it will make a lot of sense. So now if we just gonna refresh that one, as you see, it's coming in action. So now also we need to create another portion which will be a button, and that button, it will go and redirect us to our resume. So let's create our button, and that button will name as resume. So that button also, what we gonna do, we're gonna use that motion div, and in that motion we're gonna give that particular properties. And also for the button, we just need to go and implement some of the class name over here to make it work. And by the way, I'm not explaining that that class name. The CSS portion is very simple. If you have any confusion, you can toggle through all my other previous video. You can find a free good explanation the way it works. For this build, just go through it, that you type it, you learn it, and you're gonna make a sense of it. So let's go, and as you see, we have a button, but it's coming in the middle, so it's not appearing the way it's supposed to be. And to fix that, remember, we take that div over here in the top level, that UL, that div, we need to make it looks better. So first of all, let's go and give some class name. First of all, we don't want that div to be appear. As you see, that div is gone, because as you see, whenever we are going to in bigger screen, that div is coming. Otherwise, we are having an icon. So these things we need to create. So first of all, it will be hidden. And whenever we will hit an MDL, that medium landscape devices, it's gonna be inline flex. Okay. And then the items will be center. And also the gap will be 7. After doing that, you see, that is available over here. Now, in that public folder, in that assets, I have a resume over here. So I need to make a link on that resume. So whenever I click, you can find the resume and it will open it in my another tab. So to create that, we're gonna use that anchor tag. So that's our button, and we're gonna take that button inside that anchor tag. Now in that anchor tag, I need to give you the path. By the way, by default, it will look for any specific direction to our public folder. So we are already in a public folder. And now we need to go through our assets folder. And there I have that resume with the name, and the extension is the PDF. And also for our target, we don't want to open it in the same page. We will take another blank tab. So now our resume is ready. So if you come over here and click, you see that is showing pretty slick. And also we can go through and change the title over here, and also we can change our icon. So let's go to index. We'll just make it in a short. So the title, I'm gonna give my name or any title you want. Oops. Okay. And the image, I have an image over here, which is our logo.ico. So let's see, and you see the name is changed, logo is changed, and it looks better. So now whenever we make it smaller, we have no icon. We have that, but we have no icon. So we need to create that icon. And to create that icon, what I'm gonna do, actually, by the way, you can just take that icon from, as you see, this is the icon. Oops, that will be the, so if you can actually go through and take that any of the React icon or something, but I will just, as you see, that hover effect is happening. So I'm going to create a customized icon. So let's go after that div. So make a comment, a small icon section. Now here, we're going to create that icon. So make a div, and that div, what I'm going to do, so the same CSS portion, we're going to make it to work. I'm giving a width of 6, height 5, making a flex, because as you see, it will be in the flex portion, in the column portion. And by the way, in that same way, it's gonna work. So in that way, I'm gonna take a span tag, And that span tag also, let's go and grab some of the class name. Okay. So now, as you see, you're gonna be able to see one icon here, and that hover effect is happening because I put it into a group. So whenever I click in that group, all other children is under on that group. So whenever you see, whenever I group on that hover means that one, that width 6 and height 6 portion, whenever I'm hovering on that, is giving a translate x in 2. So it will be, as you see, it's hover happening with that x, like x axis. So now also I'm gonna go and grab through my other span tag. It's just to way how you arrange that span tag and make it in separate way. So as you see, my thing is ready. So now after clicking, we need to create an event which we're gonna give this portion, but this portion we're gonna create like once we have been done the other portion. So let's keep it in that way until till then. So now we're gonna create our other portion. So feel free to go over through that simple class name. You type it, it's gonna work 100%. So this is our never. And after never, there is a tricky thing. We need to split it into 3 objects. Remember I told this is the actual never. So now whatever remain here, we have one portion over here, we have other portion over here, and we have one portion over here. And that middle portion, it's gonna be scroll through. So these things we need to make a setup and to create from the scratch. And to create it, we're going to create it inside our index.js over here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to below that never, I'm going to take a div. And in that div, again, I'm going to just go and grab those class names from that instant. Okay, just give me a sec. Yes. So now that width will be full, height 88 VH, because I'm giving 88 because we have a banner already over here. Sorry, the never, which is a height of 20. So you're giving that. And by the way, in larger devices, it will be flex, item center, gap 20, justify, between. So now after below that, we need to create 3 separate div, which will be one for our left side, middle, and the right side. So this we need to create now. And right side basically actually with all the, I think all the tabs of icons. So let's go in our components. We're gonna open a new file which will be leftside.tsx rafce. And now we're gonna take our left side over here. As you see, it will be available, and that it's coming in the end because we are putting that one. So this one is rendering on that. So in our left side, what we're gonna have our icon, and to grab those icon, we're gonna use our React icons. Let's go on their side, and you're gonna copy, paste. And to search an icon is very easy. Like if I want that GitHub icon, you just simply copy that icon, like what I want for or the GitHub. Like I'm gonna use that TB GitHub. I believe it's somewhere here. That one, TB brand GitHub. So how we gonna implement? I'm gonna grab that icon and go to left side and just import, and that will be that icon from React icons. So I'm having that icon. So in that same way, I'm gonna go and grab my other icon. So these are the icons I'm gonna use. And by the way, what I'm gonna do for that particular div, I'm gonna go and grab some class name because I want to make it as a flex column, item center, justify end, because that one will give that credentiality to be at the bottom. So now it's time to pouring that with our things. So I'm gonna take another div, and in that div also we're gonna make it like, we'll make it later. So first of all, we're gonna take an anchor tag, because remember, whenever we click, it's gonna open through the particular tab in a different portion. So the same thing we're gonna follow through. So first of all, let's go and grab the anchor tag properties, which gonna be href will be my GitHub destination, and the target will be the blank one. And by the way, I want to take a span tag, and in that span tag, I'm gonna use that GitHub one, because remember, we have a background effect and also we have an hover effect. So that's now, this is our GitHub portion, and you see it's in the other way. So what I'm gonna do in the top table, give a class name, it will be flex, and flex column, and the gap will be 4. So that will be there. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and give some class name to our span tag over here. As you see, giving a width and height and text axle. After giving width and height, it will be in the middle particularly, and giving a rounded and then flex to make that icon in the center. As you see, now it looks better. So if we click on that, you see it's taking me to that particular destination. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab all of my other things, like other icons from there. The same setup, the same CSS I'm using for that. So you see that is working just fine, but it's not in the middle. So we're gonna make it in the middle, but before that we are also have one this line icon. It will be not be an icon, it will be also a same setup of CSS we're gonna create. So in after that div, we're gonna create another div. Let's give a class name, and we're gonna give a width of 2 pixels, just to define a width, and giving a height of 32, and bj, it will be text, I think text dark. Text dark. And you see that is over here. So now from this apart, we need to create that one in that way, which we're gonna create now. And to create that, actually we need to go to our index.js file. Over here, that div is getting this our left side. So what I'm gonna do, let's go and give some class name for it, which will be by the way, it will be hidden by default only whenever we are in the extra large devices. We want it to be seen. So it will be the inline flex, and the width it will be 32, and height, the full height width of 88 bh, which is that. And by the way, we want to make it fixed. Left will be 0, and we want to make it from the bottom, which will be also 0. And as you see, we're having that. So if you just click through, it's open just fine. So now we are having that our left side. Now let's go and create the right side before creating that middle. That will be our middle section. So before creating that middle, we're gonna also create that right side. So it will be right side. Oops, we didn't create that component actually. Or by the way, we're gonna create it right now. So in that components, let's go and X RFCE. So that is our right side. Let's go and import that one. So our right side is imported. You see, it's over here. So in our right side, it will be just a simple one, which will redirect to our email. So let's go in the right side on our top level of the div. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce some of the class name, which giving us the width, full height, full flex. Flex called the same setup we give it for our left section, and the same it will be an anchor tag, and that anchor tag, the href, which are gonna be committed for us, it will be mail to our that same mail we're gonna use. Either we no need to create that like that target, because it's gonna open a new window by default. And in that p tag, we're gonna get us that our email. .me. So now, as you see, we have that portion, but it's not the way we're supposed to be, because we need to make it in a side way to work. So what I'm gonna do, in that p tag, give a class name. The text, it will be small text, and rotate, it will be 90-degree rotation. And width will be 72. Also, tracking will be white, and the text, it will be uh, yes, it will be green text. So let's see. As you see, that is appearing over here. Looks fine. And to create that line, as you see, there is another line also. The same way we're gonna create it. And after the A tag, we're gonna introduce that span. As you see, our line working fine. And if you click, it's gonna open to our email. But it not looks the way it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to be. And it's because what we need to do actually in our index.js tx file, we are having that one. So now the same setup, we need to give it over here. We need to make it fixed. And as you see, that looks fine. That middle is freaking out because we make both of that in fixed. So we need to make it in a way that it's supposed to work. So we're gonna just fix it first before we're gonna go through. So what I'm gonna do for our main div, I'm gonna go and grab some class name. We're giving width full, height full, and also oops, it will not be in that. Sorry, it's my bad. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and okay, we're gonna just write some class name, which will be the height. It will be the same height of 88 view height, and the mx will be auto, so it will be in the middle, and the padding, it will be 4. And after implementing that, you see that is in the middle and the things is going very smooth. So now also there is one more thing. We are having an effect. So whenever we are is coming, it's having a little bit delay. We will just need to click, need to make that effect. And to do that, in our right section, we will also import the motion. Oops. Framer motion. And now what I will do over here, oops, no, it will not be in the index. Or yeah, we can make it in the index file because we are over here. So first we're gonna make for the left side. And that left side, what we want, we will, yeah, that is our left side. So for that, it will be the motion opacity 0 and it will come opacity 1, but it's gonna delay of 1.5 seconds. So because first of all, we want to load that portion, then this portion, and then this portion. So that's why the delay will be 1.5. And also the right side, we're gonna use that motion too. And that for the right side, it's gonna be same. I think the same duration will be fine. So let's go. And if you click, as you see, oops. So we need to pour the middle items, then it will look a lot of sense. So now we are having our right side, our left side is done. So our document is it's done already over here. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create our banner, which will be inside our middle. So let's go in our component folder, banner.tsx, RFCE. Now we're gonna implement that banner over here. So now in the banner, first of all, let's see what we will have. We're gonna have a text. It's all about the text, and we're gonna have button. Oops, yeah, we're gonna have a button. So this portion we're gonna create first of all. And by the way, every single component section, we're gonna take it as a section instead of div, or you can take as a div. It will be not be an issue, but I'm gonna take it as a section, and every section which are gonna be have a ID. The banner will be in a home ID, and the about will be about ID, because whenever we're gonna click, it will go through with that ID name and it will find through to make this scroll. So in that banner section, also we're gonna go and grab some of the class name for the banner section. Again, I'm rendering the class name because it's already ID'd, and when you type, it's gonna make a sense. So first of all, you see the max width of the content, like the content container. As you see, that class name is available over here in that content 1140 pixel. So this is the giving with the max width, and mx auto in the middle, padding in y-axis 10. Whenever in the middle devices, it will be like padding in Y24, flex call gap 4, the simple setup of that. So now you see it's in the middle. So let's go create, and first one, it will be our H3 portion, which will give us a hi. Oops, my name is. And that one also, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name, which will be text, LG, font, title, font, and others. You see, it's over here, but it's not the way it's looking. So what I'm gonna do, in the top level of the section, let's see. Actually, it's not come. It will not be in the middle. It will be in the left. I believe we are making one mistake, because what we need to do in that banner and other, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually wrap through. Let's just find the actual thing. I believe whenever we're gonna pouring the other items, it will be in that side, because as you see, that text will be longer. So let's go and add that text, and that one will be our H1 tag, where we're gonna give us our name. So it will be H1 tag, and that tag will consist that our name. So I'm gonna give my name, and after my name, I'm gonna also introduce one span tag, which will be I build things for the web. So now, as you see, we're gonna go up until here. So that a gapping is coming over here because we give a gap of 4. So first of all, as you see, the same way, it's gonna be a framer motion, the framer dip. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna import our friend motion from there, from the framer motion. Oops, it will be that. So now let's go in H3. It will be the motion tag. So first of all, what we want, the initial, it will be Y10 and opacity 0. And by the way, that duration delay I'm matching through actually in that Navbar which we have been created, because as you see, the delay is 0.5. From there we are giving a 0.6, because if you see, come over here, that animation is coming first, this image, then is coming that portion, then this portion. So as you see, if we toggle through, first one animation will come, the image, then it will become for that Navbar, then this portion simultaneously, then this two portions. So the delay is very important. You need to give the delay as the way I'm showing here, otherwise it will may not work the way it's supposed to be. So first of all, we are having that one as motion, and also we're gonna have this one, H1 tag. What I'm gonna do, grab that motion, the similar motion of that, just giving a delay of 7, and also I'm gonna go and grab the class name for it. As you see, I'm giving a text of Vercel and giving a font of title font. And now also I need to give a class name for our span tag over here, because it will be a different color than others. So as you see, if we go over here, you see that is our done. That's working just fine. So if you just click over here, the hover effect will be on to go. So now after that, the section we have, there will be a P tag. So that's the same option. After that H1, we're gonna create a P option here, and that P tag also, it will be take a motion. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that one. So this is there, and in that span tag, I'm gonna also give us like learn more. As you see here, we have that learn more option. So now you see the text is now looking, it's going to on be the direction. And by the way, it will be an A tag, because you see it's gonna take an new open window. So that span tag, we're gonna just wrap it in our anchor tag. So now let's go and grab some class name for our P tag over here. That will be the class name, the text box, and the medium devices, the max width will be 650 pixel, and rest of all, yeah, the 650 will be captured. And then also we're gonna go and grab our over here for the framer portion. And by the way, for our href, what I want it to go to my portfolio. destination. So I'm gonna just redirect to that my portfolio. And as you see, now if you come over here, and as you see, this actually happening. But first of all, also for that span tag, we need to go and grab a bit of class name to that. And by default, we are making a group text because as you see, whenever we are hovering on that, there is something happening, right? So these things we need to create. So to create that one, and also by the way, we are making it relative because that one we're gonna make it as an absolute one. So let's create a span tag, and that span tag we're gonna go with that class name where we're gonna make it with an absolute portion and other simple properties we're gonna pass because it will be an like we're giving an absolute portion which will be full, height will be 1 pixel, background will be text green, left 0, bottom 1, and whenever the translate x it will be 110% because you see I'm gonna just remove that overflow hidden for now. As you will see, that will resting over here, but if I just redo that, so whenever it's overflowing the hidden, it's going to out of that boundary. And now as you see, whenever we are hovering on that translate x, it will be 0. So now after that, after that p tag where it's end, we will use the same button button 1, and that it will be check out my project. So in that, you see that one is working just fine. And for the button, we're gonna give a width and height to make it looks better. So the weight 52, height 14, text SM. The normal thing is there. So now as you see, is hover effect also here. And that button also, it will be a motion tag. So let's go and grab our motion over here. So now, if everything fine, you're gonna see how it's redirecting. But by the way, that is not looks the way it's supposed to be. Let us fix that issue now. This thing is capturing, I believe it's not getting the actual width overall. So let's go our index. As you see, this is the responsible for the banner. So here, we're gonna give a width of full. Let's see how it's time out now. So as you see, now it looks better. So by the way, now you're getting a very beautiful looking over section over here, header and also the banner. So now after the banner portion, we need to have that our about section. So let's go. So that's the banner. And after banner, we're gonna have our about. After about, it's gonna be our experience. And after experience, it's gonna showcase our projects. And after projects, archive. And then, oops, it will be our contact. And also we're gonna actually use one footer for our small portion. Okay, so now we need to create our about page. So let's go, not the about page, about component, tsx, rafce. In here, we need to import that one. Oops, I just click on something, which will be about. And now you're gonna see that about portion is available over here. So now the same way, we're gonna make it as a section and with a legit ID and others. So I'm gonna remove that. So it will not be a div, it will be a section. By the way, that one you can remove. That is coming because I'm using to create my components using that ES7 module. So with that RAFCE I'm using, that's why it's just importing from the React portion. So now what I'm gonna do for my about section, I'm gonna go through and give an ID for it and also grab a class name for that, giving a max width of container is small. As you see, that is kind of smaller than the other one. That's what I am creating. So now as you see, this is a small container. So first of all, you see the title. That title we need to create. So what, because that title have about me, where I have been work. So every section having that title. So we're gonna create a custom title for that, and that one will be we're gonna create as a section title. So let's go over here components, we're gonna create, oops, TILE-TSX. It will be section title. So you're gonna see the section title now. So now we need to, in the section title, we're gonna have an number, and also you're gonna have a title. So in the section 1, we're gonna create an span. That span gonna take the number and dot, okay? And then after that span tag, it gonna actually not in h2 like div, it will be an h2 tag directly. And after that, it will take the title, which will be, what's the title we have? About me. About me. So that's we're gonna create. And first of all, for our h2 tag, we're gonna go and grab that class name, entire h2 tag. So let's see what is looking. As you see, h2 tag is right, but now we need to create that one to look is better. So we need to make that span tag like the way it's supposed to be. So what we're gonna do actually, we're gonna change the color of it and the text a bit over that, text base, and middle it will be text large, and text green, and margin right will be 2 to give a little bit of room to breathe. As you see, that looks fine. So now we need to make that line. And by the way, we're gonna create that line over here inside that span tag. Sorry, inside that h2 tag, we're gonna create on over here. And that one, just simply what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab that class name over here. It will be hidden by default, and it will only show in the middle devices in the indent flex, and the hide also giving it a little bit difference, and the color is there. So as you see, that is working just fine. And by the way, this about me over here, but you see the title is changing for other one. So like we need to render, we need to create section title for others and others. So it's very difficult. So what we're gonna do actually, we're gonna make it like a dynamic one. So we're gonna pass the things like pops. So the title, that one title will be about me, and the title number, it will be 01. So now we are having the props to pass, and over here we can actually get the props. It will be title and title number. So first one over here, it will be title number, and that will be our actual title. Even you save that one, you see that is just working fine, but we are getting an error from the TypeScript, and it's because the TypeScript doesn't know what kind of types is happening over here, and for that's why we need to declare the type. Let's declare interface props, and that props, the title, it will be string, and also title number, it will be string, and that interface we're gonna pass it here. So now it's know what it's gonna find, so it's working just fine. The error has been gone, and if you look it out, our things is just the way it's supposed to be. So after section title, we're gonna have two div particularly. As you see in that two div, very simple. One will be our text, and another will be our image, and that image also gonna be having a hover effect. Once you hover, you see the effect is happening. So let's create that one. And to create that, what we need to do, after the section title, we're gonna create a div. Inside that div, we're gonna create two more div. So first, in the topmost div, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for it. Oops, it will be div and flex call and lg flex row. So in the like whenever you go in the smaller devices, it's coming in the bottom, so giving a flex column, but in big devices, it's gonna give a flex row. And for our first one, the first div, which gonna be continue with all the texts over here, that will be that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some of the p tag, because it's only the text will be available. As you see, this is the text. We are defining the text size and color in the top level, so no need to worry about. You see, that's working just fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab all the text available for it. And some of the span tag I use just to highlight the text. You can use either way if you want to highlight the portion you love. And also after that, we're gonna have a portion where we're gonna give us the list item, whichever the tag I am using recently. To create that, let's go and grab another p tag for it. And that p tag, it will be for, here are a few technologies I have been working with recently. So now I need to declare that portion over here. So it will be here down. And now to create that, after that p tag, I'm going to create an order portion, which will be a list. And now, of course, this one is an icon, right? This portion, that bold icon. So we need to implement that icon. So let's go and grab that icon from our friends over there in that React icons. So now in that li, I'm gonna pass a span tag, and that span tag will be Thunderbolt icon. And after that, I'm gonna pass out from the span tag, and then I'm gonna give the like Java script, and which module I'm using, it will be like ES6 plus. Okay, so as I save that one, you see that is working just fine. So what I'm gonna do, because I want to make it side by side, and to do that, let's go to in the top level of the li and make it a flex item center and gap up 2. See, that is looking very slick. And also I'm gonna give a text of text to green for the bold icon. You see, this looks perfect. So now the same way I'm gonna implement the other one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab all the related list item, the tag I'm using. That's the tag it will be. So as you see, that is over here, but it looks a bit different, and we need to go to in the top level of UL, because that one we need to modify. So what I'm gonna do, give a class name for it. It will be max width of 450 pixel. Oops, not 150. It will be 450. And text will be SM. Font, it will be title font. And I'm gonna make it a grid. And grid calls of 2, so it will always be remain in a two column, and gap will be 2. And for the margin portion, it will be 6. From the top portion, it will be a little bit bottom, as you see. That is our one portion is done, our left side. So now we need to create our right side, which gonna be contain our image. So in here, I'm gonna create 1 and 2 div, and then I'm gonna give our image. And why I created that 2, you're gonna just learn in a bit. So let's go and grab the properties for our image, the profile image. Let's import that one from our assets. So this is our image, the profile image. And as you see, I'm just making it a rounded LG, height full, and object cover. And now, so let's go in the top level of the div over here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and give those class name, which will be width full, and the large landscape devices, the width will be 1/3, height 80. It will be relative and group. Relative because we're gonna make something in absolute portion. That absolute portion, it will be our next div, that one, which gonna be giving a rounded full, left 0. And as you see, if you come over here, so it's not giving an impact right now, but it's gonna make that. So what I'm gonna do in that div, So it's giving a padding 6 because we will create that rounding portion over here. So now after having that image portion, now it's time to create that rounding portion. And to create that rounding portion, what we need to do, we will just go and grab those class name for it. As you see, it's giving that background because it's making a hidden, and LG it will be inline block because whenever we go through in our smaller devices, it will not be there. Only in the like landscape devices, in the large devices, it will be available and applicable. So we are having that background. Now we're gonna get another div which we going to get to make that our that border portion. As you see that the same portion hidden for in the smaller devices, only LG it will be in flex, and the borders, the small properties over here, as you see this is available over here. Whenever we hover, that is happening and it looks much better. So now this is the portion we have been done. If you just go through with that my setup, as you see, whenever we gonna just go through it, it gonna work for your responsiveness also. So with that, we are having done our about page, and after about page, we're gonna need to create our experience portion, and that experience portion is gonna be a little bit on a different concept. So let's go and create our experience tab. .tsx, fce, and in the indexed experience. And for that experience, the same, it will be a section with a bunch of IDs. Sorry, not bunch, one ID. And also gonna have that class name because we're gonna make it as a container extra small. So this will be our section for our work, the experience. So now as you see, this I believe we made something wrong maybe where we work. In that was in the about, right? Okay. So let's see. Let's make a refresh. What we did wrong. It's okay. It's that one. Okay. If we below it, something is off. So this is the image portion. Okay. We need to put inside of that div because it's going out of that div. Yeah. Okay, let me fix that one anyway. I think, what if I just make in a lower level from the top? Okay, now it's fine. So we just, okay, if we just put in the top level, it's freaking out because it's not getting the width and height, which, because this the portion is the relative. So it's gonna follow through with that one and this one. So now this one, we want to make it work. It will be under this. So as you see, if you put in that way, it's gonna take this with full weight and height of 80 from there. So about section is okay. So let's go to our experience section. And that experience section, the same way, we need to go through and cover up that section title. Remember, let's control spacebar and import it from there. And let's see, as you see, where I have worked, it's happening. And now we're gonna having, because we will have that UL and LI, because whenever we click, you see there's a changing pattern is happening, and also the other things that also this portion is gonna change. So first of all, what we need to do, we're gonna create a div over here, and we're gonna go and give that class name for the div, and inside that div, we're gonna have an order list, which will be React BD. And now you're gonna see that is okay. So that's working fine. So let's go in our list over here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab some of the class name. Oops, it will be class name. And by the way, we also need to give a border in the left portion, which will be the text green, and the text will be dark. So now you see it's a bit hover effect happening, because whenever that portion React BD will be activated, that time it will be in that way. Color will be changed, so we're gonna make it in a bit. So first of all, let's just create a simple way at the tab. And you see we are having 4 or 5, and now in that top level of that UL, so give a class name. Oops, it will be MD, width will be 32, and flex column portion. Now you see that looks fine. And after that also we need to create one of the div where we're gonna go through, because you see whenever we click in any of the work. Okay, first of all, we have React BD. We will change it as a Google, and then also it's gonna change as Apple, and then it will be Splash, and later on Amazon. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. And by the way, what I'm gonna do, border L, I'm gonna make it also for color. Okay, actually I'm gonna make it for all as a hover color, because whenever it's active we need to create that color later on. So I'm gonna keep in 1, as you see. So now we need to create that React BD. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a folder over here where I'm gonna upload all the works I have been done over here. And in that works, let's create a file which will be reactbd.tsx. So RAFCE. Now, in that experience section, remember I created one UL. So in that, after that UL, we're gonna put that React BD. And by the way, we are making it flex beforehand, so it will be here. So now we are having that React BD. And in that React BD, what actually that portion will be, one will be the title and date, and then will be the text portion, the simple setup on that. So first of all, let's go to our React BD. And here, that div, we're gonna make it as a framed div, because we're gonna give a little bit opacity over there. So import framer motion. It will be a motion div, and that motion div will go through that initial setup, and the width it will take that full width. So because whenever you click on that, it will give an opacity later on, you will see. So first one, it will be an H3 tag, and that H3 tag will contain the title. And after that H3 tag, there will be a P tag, which will be like 3 till present. And you see that is over here. So now for that H3 tag, I'm gonna go and grab those class name for it. And for that I think, yeah, because after that H3, I need to give the company name, which I'm gonna put in a span tag at, it will be React BD. Because that is span tag, I'm gonna change the color for it and giving a tracking of wider to give a bit of room to breathe. As you see, we have that one done. So now for our P tag, I think this error is nothing. It will be just gone. Now for our P tag, I'm gonna go and give this class name text small empty one, the simple setup. As you see, now it has been done. So after having this portion, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take an UL, and in that UL, the same way, remember we used that arrow somewhere. I think we use it in about page. It's arrow bolt or the same icon, right? No, it's no, it's a different one. That's why it will be arrow, because that one was the bolt. So I'm gonna not in about, in React video over here, this icon. So oops, TI arrow forward, and after the TI arrow forward, I'm gonna having my text. Okay, so you're gonna see the text is available. First of all, in that list item, I'm gonna go and give a class name. The text will be text base, and it will be like flex. Gap, it will be 2, and text, it will be text dark. Save it. You see, that's working fine. And to make this one look separate, I'm gonna give a class name which will be text green, and empty, it will be 1. See, that looks better. And if we just create our, I'm just gonna go and grab my all other tabs from there, all other list item, which gonna take with that same text pattern. As you see, that looks better, but looks a little bit all together. So what I'm gonna do in that overall UL, let's give a class name, which will be margin top will be 6, and flex call to give a gap of 3. And you see, that looks now nice. So I have that one. Now what I'm gonna do, instead of creating all, I'm gonna go and grab my previous work list from that, and here I'm gonna paste it. So now here you see I have an Amazon, which the same setup, also that Apple, the same setup of things. Either you can create actually a component. I already showed how you can create that component. So you can create component, or you can create it a separate way. That doesn't matter. So now I have that 6 portion of work, like experience work details. So now I need to toggle through over it, how we wanna make it happen. Because as you see, whenever I click, that particular work option is appearing. Google coming, Apple coming. So this is the portion we need to create. And to create that, first of all, what we need to do, first initially, we're gonna declare some of the state, which will be our, we're gonna use that UD state hook. So now we're gonna making a work React VD, set React work, and also Google, and set Google. We are making indicating one will be true, which will be the first one. Okay, remember this one will be true because that's the first one, and other one, whenever we click, we're gonna make it that way. So first of all, let's go in our first one, first list item. We're gonna create an on-click event, which will be handle React VD, and the second one, which gonna be Google for, I think second one is Google, yeah, it will be handle Google. And for the third one, it will be handle Apple. And for the fifth one, it will be handle Splash. And the last one, it will be handle Amazon. Now we are creating that on-click event. So now we need to create that on-click function. So the same way, I'm gonna just go and declare that function over here. As you see, whenever we click on that React BD, it will be set work React BD, it will be true. Other all four, it will be false. And whenever we click in handle Google, only the Google will be true, other will be false. And the same way, it will show the others. So now we need to create a setup over here in our experience portion. So now what we actually make this one over here, like if there is a work React BD, if it's available there, so then it will be give us that React BD portion. And the same sort of way, whenever that our Google is available, it's gonna give us the Google and it's gonna give us the Apple, the same setup we're gonna implement for it. So I'm just importing that one from there. Now as you see, whenever we click that particular tab, only that particular portion will be true, others will be false. So if we click in Google, you see the Google coming, Apple coming, Splash, Amazon. But remember, we are changing the color and we are changing the border color, right? So we need to create that portion too. And to create that, what I'm gonna do in that ally portion over here, instead of creating in that normal CSS, I'm gonna take it inside a backtick over here. And in that backtick, what I'm gonna declare that if let's take if work React BD, if that one is available, there will be a CSS. If that one is not available, there will be another CSS. So if that one is available, what I want that border will be like left border, which will be the text green, and the text will be also the text green. Okay. And if it's not available, then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab that one. Because by default it's gonna be dark. So if that one is active, it will be text green, like the text and border. If it's not active, it's gonna be the normal one. Okay. So as you see, it's gone. Oops, it's not that one. It's active, that's why it's showing. If it's not active, that's gone. So now we have been, I think it's not actually, it will be hover color, yeah. Not the text dark for the border. It will be hover color. So let's see. So now the same setup we're gonna create, we're gonna give for our other class name, which will be our Google. If for Google available, the thing will be changed. Otherwise, it will be normal. If it's not available, it means it's not active then. And also for our Apple portion, let's keep that. And let's go for our Splash. Okay, and the last one, it will be for Amazon. So I think it's now just fine. As you see, if we click, wow. And that delay is coming from the opacity which we have been given in that mode. You see, even we make it smaller, it will work just fine. So now our work section, experience section is done. So now we need to showcase our project. And let's go and build our project section. And that project section, which we're gonna contain, and you see, it will contain one image and then the left portion, which will be text. And first of all, let's create that one. So in our components, we're gonna have it will be tsx first. .tsx, yes. And then refce. Now in here, we're gonna just go and get the project. And for that project also, a section with an ID and some of the class name. So let's go section. Section. The ID will be project, max width will be container, and the max auto LG it will be padding 20 and PY it will be 24. So now you're gonna see our project is over here. First one first, we need to go and grab this our section title over here and control spacebar, import that one. And then we are having our section 1. So first of all, we're gonna have a 3 project indicating. So it will be project 1, and then it will be project 2, and then after all, it will be project 3. So 3 project, it will be available over here. To create that first project, let's create a div, and inside that div, there will be 2 more div, which one side it will create that image, other it will create that text. So first of all, in the first div, like the top level of the div, which gonna take the width of full and make it flex column item center, it will make also justify center. And now for the other div, what I'm gonna do, before creating that one, let's go and make that image. So let's inside the div, I'm gonna take that image from our next image. And as you see, I already have that images declared over here in that public folder in the assets in that index.ts. I have that Amazon image, Cyber image, and no shop image. So these three images I'm gonna use for my 3 projects. Let's save it. And now you see I am having that image over here. So now that image of inside a div, but that div will be an anchor div, because whenever I click through it, it's gonna go and take me to my particular destination of that. So the destination will be my project destination, which is I published there, nextamazon.reactjs.com. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for that, which gonna give it a width of full, and in that Excel it will be take a half width. And remember, whenever we are in that Excel devices, it's gonna take a half width, otherwise it's gonna take full. Okay, because whenever we go in the lower level, you see it's taking the full width, otherwise it's getting only the half. So this is the things we have been done. Like if we just go simply over there and click, you see it's rendering, redirecting, targeting to a empty tab and opening it the same way it's supposed to be. So now we are having that portion. So after that, what we need to do, we need to create our other div. Okay, so that div also initially it gonna take a width of full, and but whenever it's in LG device, Excel devices, it gonna take width of half. So if we click, you see image gonna be shrink once we gonna implement the items over here. I believe that div, okay, because we need to also make that div as a particular way, because otherwise it will freak out, which we're gonna make flex call in Excel devices, because that's everything is inside that div, otherwise it will not work in that way. So I believe also we need to initially implement that one in the top level. So now it's gonna take a half of width. Okay, so what we are saying, we're declaring the width of full, and then we are giving that div which will be having an anchor tag width of half, and also the other one giving width of half. But normally only the Excel it will give width of the half width, and otherwise it will be full width. So now what we gonna do actually, in that first we're gonna have a p tag. So it will be the feature project. Let's see if it's coming. You see that feature project is available. And now for that feature projects, I'm gonna implement some of the class name for it. Let's go. And also after that feature project, we need to go and give the name for it, which will be coming with an h3 tag, and then text to Excel font will be bold. You see, that's the one. But I don't know why I'm going down, because it's maybe okay, because we need to go in the top level, not here. We need to be one level top, because we are inside that div. As you see, now we are here. And by the way, if it's getting a little bit far away, because we are creating justify between, so whenever we are pouring that item, it will be all right. Otherwise you can remove the justify between and it will work just fine. So after that, I'm gonna just go and grab that p tag, and in that p tag I'm giving a background of color, and then text and padding 2, and also giving a padding of 6, which will be implemented in the middle devices, as you see. And by the way, that thing is coming from there, because as you see, we are giving only in Excel devices margin left in 16 to push through it in left side to come inside that image to creating that design. But whenever we are like only it will be accessible only in that Excel one. Okay, so now after that p tag, we're gonna have a ul list item, and that in list item we're gonna have a separate kind of list, the text tag we are using to create that project, and you're gonna see that items available over here, but we need to create in that way. And to create that, what I'm gonna do in that unordered list, I'm gonna just implement those class name. I'm giving a text of extra small, and then I'm implementing the flex one to go in, make it in that horizontal, in that way. And you can either use some hover effect, but for this project, I'm not gonna do that one. And then I'm gonna having a three icons, which one will indicate to my project, and one gonna indicate to my project video on that, and also another one will indicate to my GitHub. And to create that, first of all, we need to create a div because we will make it as a flex portion. And inside that div, I'm gonna taking an anchor tag. And inside that anchor tag, I need to get that item. So first of all, let's go and grab the icons I'm gonna use. Those icons. Also, it's gonna be one of other icon. Okay. So now, yeah, in that anchor tag, first one, it will be GitHub. And that GitHub, also, I'm gonna implement some of the hover effects. As you see, whenever I'm hovering, the text will be text screen duration 300. So that's the same as you now you can see the GitHub is available over here. And by the way, in the top level of the div, let's go and implement class name. Text will be 2 pixel. Flex gap will be 4 to having a bit of distance. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my another 2 items, the remaining 2. One will be YouTube and another will be my new window. So as you see, that is working fine. So now we have one of our project. As you see, this is coming in that way, but this is showing, another is showing in other way. So what I am gonna do, you see this project is like, this one is our first project. So I'm gonna copy that one. Let's paste it over here. And for our second project, we're gonna use that cyber image. Let's go over here and it will be cyber image. Cyber image. And you see, we're receiving that, but we need to shift it in that way. So what I'm gonna do, instead of shifting all together in over here in the top level of the div, I'm gonna make it to work. I think it's all over here inside here. So what I am gonna do in that Excel devices, it will be flex row reverse. Okay, so it will shift the position, it will reverse the proportion on that. And also, I believe the second one, which I'm giving the a margin in left, it will be margin on right. So, oops. But now it's really freaking out because, okay. Or what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove it from here instead of, okay, I'm not gonna give it in here. What I am gonna do in the text, because that one only it will be there. So Excel MR16. So the text will, oops, I think it will be minus MR. Yeah, because it will go, yeah, now as you see, that looks better, but it's all is squashing it together. It's because in the top level, we need to give it with what I'm gonna do. See, this is the image 1, 2, and other one. So what I am gonna do, so here, this is our 1 image, and this is our 2 image. So this is our 2 image. So this all things I'm gonna go and take it inside a div, and in that div top level, let's make a class name which will be with full flex, and it will be flex in column portion, item center, and justify between, oops, justify between, and the gap will be 28 T for the 10 to make it looks better. Now you see we have a gapping over here, and also we are having the other portion. So now we are having, now you can go through and change the title and others. So for our today's sec, because it's just changing the title and other portion, because it's gonna be the same way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab our it will just changing the title and the text, as you see. And also I'm gonna go and grab my third project, which will be the same like the first one, because we are not going to make it row reverse. So the same way, and the image we need to import. Oops. Okay, that will be the image. So the same way we are creating. Now we are having our third portion, the first project, second project, and third project. As you see, we're gonna having our project 1, 2, and 3. So whenever you click, it will take to that in particular page. Even you click in the image, it will also take us there. So now after having that, we're gonna also create that our like another one, which will be our archive. So let's go and create that archive over here. So in the component, we're gonna not in over here .tsx c, and also we need to import it over here. Okay, so now we will be able to see our archive. You see that is over here. But first of all, that archive will not be a section, because remember, it will be in the under the project portion. So no need to create a section over there. We're gonna just give some of the bunch of properties, and then we are having that archive. But remember, this portion, this title is not the title, is in the top, in the top portion over here. So we're gonna manually create that title over here. And to create the title, I'm just gonna get a div, and that div, it will be an h2, which will be other note or projects, and then will be a p tag, which will be view the archive. And first of all, let's go and make that our h2 tag little bit better. So making it, giving a text of that size and other portion, and also we're gonna make it for that p tag. Let's see, that looks better, but it's not in the center. So for that, what I'm gonna do, make it a width of full. I'm gonna make it a flex, and it will be a flex column, and then item center. So it will be particularly in the middle. As you see, view the archive, and that looks better. So now after viewing the archive, what I am gonna do, actually, I'm gonna implement one archive card, because as you see, that is almost all the same things. Only what is changing is the content and the link, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another one, which will be archive card.tsx. So, and after the div, we're gonna take another div, and now we're gonna having that archive card. So what we're gonna have inside that archive card? Okay, first of all, we will have two icons, one title, one small text, and then the other some three of the for the tag we use, that portion. So first of all, let's go in our archive. First one, it's gonna be like, we're gonna take a div, because there will be two icons for that. And these two icons will be that too. And first one, it will be a folder, and then rx open new window. So if we come over here, you're gonna see this two is available. So first of all, in our top level, we're gonna create that in the top level. We're gonna give some CSS which gonna take the full width. As you see, it's gonna freak out to take overall the width. It's because in that archive, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it in a grid portion. Like first of all, let's go give a class name. It will be a grid, and initially it will be grid columns of 1 for the all devices, and whenever we hit the middle devices, it will be like grid of a 2, and whenever we hit it in the larger devices, extra large devices, it will be grid columns of 2. The gap will be 6, and minus empty will be a 10 margin top, and LGL only it will be padding as x-axis as 10. So if we go over here, as you see, this is our part. So now what we need to do in over here in archive card, because we are making it as a flex colon justify center. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give that one also as flex justify between item center. So it will be in the center, don't worry for that. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also, because the icon need to be look little bit bigger. Oops, yeah. So now that is the particular, and actually whenever we hover, that text will be green. Otherwise it will be the text green, the other one normally. As you see, this one okay, whenever we hover, that text green. And by the way, if you just remove that one from the item center, it will be in the top, but you know, we're gonna pouring item later on, so just keep it in that way. So now in that portion, we're gonna have another div, and that div gonna take the one will be take the item title, another will be take the other text. And for our the title, the first one, which will be our first one, I'm gonna put that Educare English Learning Academy. I made a project for them. And also for p-tag, I'm just gonna paste some lorem text for right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for my h2 tag, and also that p tag, it's gonna be accelerated with some class name. And as you see, that looks better, right? Okay. So now after having that, below on it, there will be that tree of that list item, which is there. And to create that one, after that div, I gonna take an list UL, and that will be a list item. Our first one, which gonna be the, or I'm just gonna paste, oops, okay. Make it looks bit of right. One is Reactjs, another will be Tailwind CSS, and then other will be getfrom.io. And of course, for the UL, to make it looks better, give a class name which will be text in extra small. MDL, it will be text as small text, and the text color, it will be text dark, and it will be flex. Item should be in center. Gap will be 2, and also justify, it will be, oops, justify, it will be between. And then flex wrap, it will be flex wrap, because whenever it will get the full weight, it can also scroll through, go down. So now as you see, that is the portion. But as you remember, whenever we click, it will take to that particular portion. So for to implement that one, what I'm gonna do, that entire div over here, I'm gonna just take in as a anchor tag. Okay, and in anchor tag, I'm gonna just go and grab my link, which gonna be there, which will be that link. And also I'm gonna target as blank. So as you see, and that hover effect is coming, getting in top. As you see, we are giving that hover translate y into, giving a transform transition and duration 300. So that's why it's giving that. So if we click any of the portion, it's gonna go and grab on that the other portion. Now we are having like around 12 of the projects. So what you think? If we just go in that way, we need to create the 12 kind of archive card. But if we make a dynamic, pass the value as the props, we can actually go create only one single. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass the value over here. I'm gonna pass the title as a title, description, list item, which we're gonna give the whatever items is available over here, and the link we're gonna pass over here. So now in here, in the archive card, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna destructurize the props we are passing. You can make a console.log to see whatever we are receiving. And now I can actually go through with that. Like this herf item, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass it as the link of our link. Okay. And now this is the title. So it will be title. And also that one, it will be description. And now instead of generating that tree list, because maybe sometimes it's gonna be more items. So remember, we are getting that list of item, which is a array of objects. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make that list item.map, and we're gonna pass that item, and we're gonna take that I to get us our as a key props. So let's take the I. The key will be the index one, and in the middle we're gonna pass as item as the item. So now you're gonna see it just worked fine and nothing has been changed. So now we can render through, like if you just go through over here, like you need 3 more cards. Okay, so just make it, as you're gonna see, we have 3 cards, and now we need to just change the value. Like if you ask me what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab all of my 6 first prioritized card over here with the legit ID and the title. Now you see I have that card with the ID, title, and a different link and the different list item, and save it. As you see, it's working just fine. It's gonna go and grab through that my particular portion of the project. So now, as you see, our TypeScript is still not happy with us. It's giving us some of the errors because it's not knowing whatever we are passing. And for the TypeScript, we will just declare another interface, which we're gonna pass that as the props. And that props will indicate title, it will be string. And the description which we are passing also will be string. And the list item which we are passing, it will be string, like a string of object, like array of object it will be. And the link also it will be string. So now what we want to tell them, be happy. We'll pass the props as the props value. And now it's happy, TypeScript happy, we are happy. So now that things is very slick. So after that also we need to create another one which gonna have one button which will indicate us to, I believe this is the last one. So before going through finishing that div, we're gonna create another div over here, and that div will contain one button which will be like show more, and that show more button will contain some of the class name over here. Also in that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for that entire div portion. As you see, this is the show more. So whenever we click on that button, something gonna happen. And what it gonna happen? Let's make that const show more, and it will be set show more. And by default, it will be use state, which will be false. By default, it's gonna be false. And now we're gonna create an on-click function on that show more button, whereupon it gonna say, whenever we click on that, it will make that set show more. I think it will be show more true because we will have a show less also later on. So whenever we click on that button, it will be set show more as true. And also, by the way, so whenever that set show more will be true, we need to generate those other things in here. Remember, before finishing that one. So like whenever the show more is available, okay. Now I'm gonna just use the I'm gonna just go through, because we're gonna use that motion for all the divs to run it pretty in a good way. So I'm gonna just implement that one first, then I'm gonna explain to you. This import motion from framer motion. So now what I did, whenever we click on that show more button, it will generate our the same archive card with the different title, description, list item, and link. By the way, we are using a framer motion, because as you see, if you come over here in our, oops, where is the first one? Yeah. If you just click on that, see, it's coming with a little bit opacity. See, the opacity is coming on that way that motion is happening. So that's what we are creating here. Initially, it will be opacity 0. While in view, whenever we go in view, it will be opacity 1, means we can see it. And the transition, we are making delay. The first one is 1, second one will be 2, third one 3. So by go forth, we are getting how many items we are having. We are going to give that much opacity for that. And by the way, from where we are getting that error actually, let's see. Okay, so that's the error is showing us. The show more. Supposed not to be seen that error. Okay, let's I am gonna do, instead of creating that, oops, no, if show, well, show more, and we need to return that value. Okay, let's see, try again to copy the previous value. I think it will work now. Just a silly error. Okay. No. Or by the way, if I remove that portion, okay, because it's taking as a div. We don't want it to work as a div, so just make sure we want to keep that empty braces. So let's go. By default, there will be nothing. If we click on that, you can see that items is pouring in. So now we are having a show more button. So now what we need to do, whenever its item is showing, the button will be the show less, otherwise it will be show more. So let's copy that one, cut that one, and the show more. If that show more is available, it's gonna return something. If not available, it's gonna return something else. And let's see. So whenever the show more button is there, it's gonna say show more. And when like available, show more is true, means item is there, it's gonna say show less, and the show more will be false, otherwise the default one. So let's go in the top level. You see the show less is there, show more coming. Okay, see the 6 only. If you click, it's generating the items. Okay, now that's fine. This looks a little bit tricky, but if you go through with each and everything, it will just make a sense. It's very simple to create. So now we have our archive and others. Now we need to create the other portion, which will be our contact.tsx, RAFCE, and that contact portion, which also going to be a section. And that section also, let's go give it ID as contact and some of the CSS to make it looks better, which will be the content container. So as you go over here, I think there is, we need to import that one first. Contact. And you see the contact portion is available. So in the contact, we have only the 4 items. So let's go and grab. First one, it will be a p tag. And that p tag will contain our what's next portion. And then h2 tag. H2 tag will contain that get in touch portion. I'm just gonna grab that one. Just focus through with that class name I'm providing. If you keep in that particular way, it will work just fine. And that p text will be just kind of some text. You see? That looks better, and it's everything is coming in that way because we make it flex call, giving a gap of 4, item center, justify center, so it will be in the center always. So now we're gonna give a button over here. That button we're gonna say hello. Otherwise you can also put an href tag without keeping a button. It will work just fine. I love to put inside a button on our way, and that href tag which gonna indicate to go through our mail to portion. And for that button, we're gonna just, actually you can redefine all the button in a components and create in that way, but for the small project, I'm better to give it in that way. So say hello, and you see that's working pretty better. So now our contact portion also done. But remember, first over here, we don't have footer, but whenever we go below, you see, whenever that one, because in here we are getting our icons for the link. So whenever this is not available, we need to show that icon also. So we are putting that in the below. So for that purpose, we need to create a footer portion, which will be footer.tsx, refce. And in that footer, it will be the simple things which we're gonna create, because it will be only the icons, and that portion going to be concluded with that. Remember, so the first div it gonna contain on that. Initially it will be hidden, and whenever it's in the middle landscape, it will be inline flex. Excel also it will be hidden, because normally in smaller devices, whenever we go very small devices like that devices, we are having that icons over here. We're gonna render it here, icon and email, so no need to be worried about that. So first of all, remember we created that icon before, so I'm just gonna popping up those icons and the designing CSS class name for that span tag. Remember we created in the left portion over here. The same setup we are using when we are just not making it a flex column, normal portion of flex, so it will work just fine. And now you see it's not available over here. Whenever we go in that portion, oops, when this left side and right side is gone, you can see, okay, because I didn't import that one yet. Okay, so let's get that footer. Now you see the footer is available, and if we go to whenever that icon is available, that footer is gone. So now, as you see, we are having a customized scroll bar over here. You see the color is different. So for that, let's go to Tailwind CSS scroll bar npm, because we will use that scroll bar from there. Okay, let's copy that. We're gonna install that one. And whenever you are using any Tailwind config like plugins, you need to mention it in your config file, which we're gonna do it here also. What we need to mention, as you see in here, I need to make a require, and in that require also I think it will be in that as you see that is available over here. This portion you need to just copy plugins and paste, so the plugin will work just fine. And to do that, we're gonna implement it over here whenever we are making that overflow y as a scroll. So first of all, what we gonna do actually, let's go after the overflow y scroll. I'm gonna make that scroll bar. Say that scroll bar will be okay, and also we need to give some, see, the scroll bar which will be the track, and that track it will be like text dark color, and that dark color will be the 20% of the dark color. That track means over, you can just feel free to read documentation to know better. So that is the track, it will be there. Okay, and now I believe text dark, it will be okay, I put the s, that's why it's not working. So now you see that text track color is changed. As you see, that's the color. Track color is changed. So now after track color, we also need to find the thumb one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a scroll bar. Scroll bar, it will be the thumb, and that thumb it will be text dark, but this time it will be opacity of 60. So let's see. As you see, and that is the thumb is working just fine. So now we are having that our customized scroll bar, and also now what we're gonna do, we need to create that portion. Remember? Oops, am I created before? Okay, that looks weird. Because we are giving a href ID, that's why it's just taking. So let's go in our navbar portion. So in the navbar, what I'm gonna do actually, as you see, by default, actually, suppose whenever I click, it's taking me to that portion, but it's giving very fast because we are using the href from the next link. That's why whenever we click, it's finding that ID and taking us to that place. But remember, whenever we do it, the color will be changed over here, and it's gonna be a scroll, smooth scroll. So to create that one, we need to create some of the properties. So let's go. Remember, in our navbar, what we have been created beforehand, we are giving a class name which is navlink. So by handling that navlink, we're gonna create other things. So first of all, let's go to create that. First of all, we're gonna create an onClick function, and then we're gonna go through to change. So that will be our navbar, and let's go introduce one onClick function to all the li which will be there in the link. That is our li. So it will be handle scroll. So the home, and for about the same the same function, it will be for all, because we're gonna create that scroll, smooth scroll with it. So the contact. Okay, now what I'm gonna do in the top level, I'm gonna just declare a function. Other you can make way the way you want. So handle handle click. Oops, yeah, handle click. Okay, I think it will be handle scroll. Oops, it will not be that one. So okay. We need to make first the handle scroll. I'm sorry, because we're gonna also create a handle click function. So cons, it will be handle scroll, and that scroll we're gonna make a functional thing. So now this function of scroll is gonna take an event, and whenever we give an event, we need to also specify what kind of event we want. We want from the React, and it will be the mouse event, and that mouse event, it will be HTML anchor element, and it will be mouse event. So we need to declare that one, otherwise the TypeScript will it will not know what we're gonna do. So first of all, we're gonna make it a prevent default. So all the default behavior it gonna expelled. You see, now it's not giving us that scroll. So by default, which you are giving the href tag and making a default scroll, which giving a very fast, it's not happening now. If I just remove that, you see that scroll is happening. So we need to just make it all things is the default one. So now what I'm gonna do, gonna make a I'm gonna get the href portion, and that href will be our const ref. It will be use ref from the React, of course. So let's import that one. use ref from React. So it will be the use ref from React. And also we need to like implement that one. What kind of things it will be? It will be a string, or either way it will take any. So any of that thing can be there. By the way, it will be empty event. So first of all, that will be our ref. So now let's go and implement. So the href will be equal to e dot current target dot href. So whatever the ref request is gonna passing through. Oh, not href. So that will be the href. And now we need to make a targeted ID. So it will be target ID, and that the ID, it will be document dot, replace document dot I believe, yeah, document dot replace. And then we're gonna replace the value of that and others. So it's just the multiplication of some way to just give a second. I'm just gonna paste the value over here, because by that way we can actually go through and set up the items from there. I think I spelled something wrong. It will not be replace child, it will be replace only. Oops, I make a mistake, because it will be href.replace. So whatever href gonna give, that href gonna replace with that targeted ID. That's we are declaring over here. And now we need to specify the element. So just put an element as an element, and that element, remember, we are giving an targeted ID. So it will be document dot get element by ID, and that ID it gonna get us our targeted ID. And now if there is that element is there, if element is there, it will be like scroll into view. It will be scroll into view, and that view we're gonna pass a behavior which will be a smooth behavior. Okay, like if that one is passing, it will be there. And now we are passing that smooth behavior, but what we need to do now, we need to like, oops, it will be update the class name. Oops, it will be class name of the click link, and that one we're gonna make the const links. Remember, we are giving a name of that nav link. So with that nav link, we're gonna pass in every single value. So we're gonna query through with the document dot query selector all, and we're gonna pass that nav link. So now links dot for each. So all each and every link we're gonna pass some items, and that link, because we're gonna cache through each and every single link. Whenever we click on that link, it's gonna give us something. So whenever that link, we click on that particular link, it will be link dot class list dot remove. So it's gonna remove that class name which are gonna be active. Okay, and now after removing that one, when that effect gonna gone, when that e dot current target, it will be there. When that list will be in that current target, oops, it, oh my god, it will be that class dot add, and we're gonna add that our div class. Okay, so now actually if we go over here, if we just click, see smooth is coming, but if you just inspect that one, you can actually see that it's adding one class, which is the active class. So that is our portion, this is the portion, and that's li. So if we go over here, you see the experience and see the class name is changing over here. It's giving a different, it's changing with that active class name and other one. So what we need to do in over here in that global.css, we're gonna pass a class name value which gonna get us our active one. So let's go to our global CSS. Click in global CSS. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it as a, so whenever the active class is available, the color, it will be the color of green which we use, FFTA. That will be the color. See? No, still it's not working. Okay, first of all, let's remove that. It's not giving us the active portion. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that one now. And it's because we need to do I think it will work. I believe we made something wrong in the giving the class name. Yeah. It's because we cannot use that one because the color is not getting. Yeah, that's why. So now see, it's appearing. We go to experience, getting that. Okay. Now it's working just as the way we are looking for. So now we are having that our neighbor portion done, but not yet done. Remember, whenever we go in our, like in the smaller screen, we need to work with that. So first of all, to create that one, let's go in the top level of that. We are already taking the reference. So after the reference, we want to create another piece of state, which will be const show menu or set show menu. By the way, in normal portion, it will be false. So now, remember, we are having a button like that icon. So let's go back to our icon over here in the bottom, the small icon. So on click, which gonna give us that set show menu as true. So now it will make us show menu as true, but what it gonna happen when the menu will be available, that we gonna implement here. So whenever the menu is available there, we gonna pass a div. Remember that div gonna be, remember we are creating a reference over there. So that div gonna go through and get that reference at the reference of node, and also you're gonna create an on-click function for that. But first of all, let's go and give some of the class name to see that one is available or not. We're gonna create that on-click function later on. So now we're gonna having the MDL hidden. It will be an absolute. The same proportion of that class name is here. So let's go and click. As you see, that is the entire div we are creating. So now whenever we click, now we need to create that motion div over here also. So inside that div, we're gonna take another div, which gonna be as motion div. Oops, need to be past the motion. And that motion, we're gonna pass that opacity value. And also, I'm gonna go and grab the class name for that. Okay, we're giving a width of 80% and others. So now you see that is available there. So see, whenever I click on that, whenever I click outside of it, I want it to be gone also, right? That one, for that one, actually, we are going to get the reference ones. First of all, we will just go through on that later. But let's see, we have that one close button. So let's go and get that close button from our friend React icons. And we're gonna use that one, that outline close. So that will be our first button. And that button, so where we take this? This is the motion div. So now make it that MD outline close. And also we're gonna go and some class name for it, because we are making an absolute and it will not freak out because that div is already we created as relative. And now whenever we on click on that, it will fire out an event which will be make as set show menu as false. Oops, it will be false. Yeah. So now you see we have a menu bar is gone, it's gone. Click, gone. And the same, I think the same one is affecting over here. By the way, I think there's coming as some Okay, we're gonna fix that one also. So now after that, what we're gonna happen below on it, we're gonna take a div, and inside that div, we're gonna take an UL list. Remember the UL list we have been created for this one, for this portion. That's the same list we're gonna create. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab through my list because it will be the same proportion of list we have been done so far. Now what is happening over here? We're just adding that list with the same link portion, okay, and the same handle scroll which happening there. We're just making a flex scroll. That's the thing, only the difference from that. And also we need to make that flex call and give that one in top UL portion. Oh, actually we are having one UL, so I need to remove that one. Also I need to give that one in our div because we're gonna having a button over there. And now we are having also a motion which gonna be initially, it will be in x-axis, it will be 20, opacity 0. Whenever it's animate, it's gonna be x-axis is 0, opacity 1. Giving a duration 2, delay is 1, easy in, the same setup. First one 1, second one 2, and third one 3. The delay which gonna create that arrangement, whenever you click, you see it will appear one by one. You see? So that's the portion is happening. So now after having that UL, we're gonna also have that button which we're gonna indicate to our that I think yeah, our resume portion, the same setup. So as you see, we have that our resume, and remember we need to create another div to let us show our all the icon over here. Remember? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab that icons from previous thing. So let's that one over here, and also we need to import those icons. Let's go in the top level and import icons. So now that's the same icons, it will be available there. As you see, that icons is available, and after that icon, the same setup of previous things. And after having those icons, actually I will also going to below that div, I'm gonna also take another a tag which gonna create for our email portion. Okay, so it will not be here. So now as you see, let's go, this is our div, and now here something is okay, we need to take that a tag only, as you see. So now we are having that for that our email. So as you see, now that is just as smooth as possible. So whenever we click, but when we click, you see that is happening, but that thing is still stay. So we need to make that show menu false whenever we click on that, right? And that one we're gonna create with our that handle on click event we are going to choose. Okay. This one is giving us error. Okay. So let's go in the top level. We're gonna create that. We're gonna make function handle click, and that click will be taking an event. It will be an any event, just to be, no need to declare all of that. So what I'm gonna do, if e dot targets dot contains, oops, contains, and which gonna contains the reference we are passing dot current, if that one contain this. So what we gonna make, we're gonna make that it need to do something. What it will do, it gonna make a set show menu which will be false. Now we're passing that, so where we gonna pass that value, that on click event? Okay, we need to declare it somewhere, right? So we will declare it. We're gonna declare it on the portion where we passing that reference as a node reference. I believe it's somewhere on the show menu. Yes, over here. So now we're gonna pass on click, which will be our handle click. So now if we go over here, click, oops, let's just make a refresh. Okay, it's not targeting that portion. It's because it's not getting that target that contains. So remember, we made one portion that way, that set one, that so whenever we are having that current position, whenever we are getting that actual value, so from here we're gonna also call that set show menu false. So we're gonna redirect with that and implement that one. So if we click now, you see that's gone. If we click now, that's gone. So now, if you just follow through overall to the structure I have been done, if you did it proper way, you're gonna have that beautiful looking portfolio. Now you can customize it in the way you want. You can feel free to make some changes and do it the right way you want to do. So first of all, we have been done our build. So what we need to do, actually, we need to make it to deploy that one. And how we gonna do it? To deploy that one, first of all, let's go over here. Let's cut our server. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make git init. So the git, I'm gonna initialize on it. And now I'm gonna make git.add. So it's gonna make everything, include everything that one, all the files. And now we need to make git commit, and also need to pass a message that portfolio added. And now what you need to do, you need to go to your GitHub account. Let's go to GitHub. That's my GitHub. You can just go through that and feel free to follow me in that way, so I can help you with some more builds. So now we need to create a repository, which will be portfolio YT. And let's create that one. And after creating that, you need to go through with that git remote portion to access that git one. And now we need to run that git push origin. That main depends on whatever accessories you're using. I'm using the master, so I will just pass that master, which will be git push and then your origin master. So now it will push through all the dependencies and all the things which is required for, like, available everything. So you can see, except those node modules and other things, it's gonna pass all other data available for our project. So after uploading, I think still something is going on. Yeah, still not yet done. So let's give it a time to that finish its work. So as it's done, let's go to our repository and hit refresh, and you see everything is available. Now I want to deploy it in Vercel, because it's a Next.js application. Vercel is the best one. So let's go in my Vercel, and now here I want to add a new project, and that project, now here, from here you need to search the repository you want, or it will show over here. I can see this one is my repository. So now just I'm gonna deploy it. So what it will do, you can just focus through with your building components. It's gonna go and fetch all the related dependencies, the node modules and everything, to make it as a production build, and it's gonna make it now. So let's give it a time to create that one. So I believe, yeah, it's created already, and now it's giving us to my dashboard. So let's go to our dashboard, and if we just click on that, you're gonna find your application, your own portfolio is ready. You see, that's fully ready and good to go. So now feel free to go through that, and you're gonna find it that is very legit. And of course, don't feel free to just go and give a like action on that. Just make subscribe to find some more videos in future, which gonna be more cool. So yeah, let's do it, and all the best for coding.